Welcome back to the Coding Fanatic YouTube channel. I'm your host Richard, and here at Coding Fanatic, I'm all about helping new Android developers grow quickly. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, then hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and you'll see when I upload new videos each week. If you head on over to the Coding Fanatic website, join the mailing list, and you'll get some advice from me a little bit further than what I put into social media or things that I talk about here on the YouTube channel. Not to mention, wouldn't you want to be the first to know when new content like this comes out? So head on over and join the mailing list. So the last place I left off, I was working with the Kotlin, trying to get Kotlin set up locally or have my local environment instead of using the Kotlin playground in order to test out my test things out with Kotlin. Even in programming classes that I took in college, you always set up your computer to use the terminal to do whatever you need to build, whether it's building your C++ files or Java files, anything. So similarly, I wanted to do the same thing with Kotlin. Now, if I want to learn this language, then I want to make sure that I can at least test my own things out. Like maybe I'll make a little goofy file here or there, a little program that just, I don't know, displays text, or sometimes it's good just for testing things out. So if you can jump into terminal and write out a few lines of code and test it out, compile it locally, it's way more useful than having to go on a website. Even though they achieve the same function, it's just better to have it locally. Not to mention, like I said in the past, if I have it on my computer, on my end, then I can update it whenever I want instead of waiting for the online tool to be updated. So anyway, that being said, I finally figured it out. I got the Kotlin compiler downloaded to my machine, installed, up and running. It was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It turns out that during my initial live stream, which you can check out here, I didn't download the right file. I went onto the Kotlin website, and that part was real. I did go in blind with no idea on how to install the Kotlin compiler. And I went on the website, and it clearly said to download the Kotlin compiler .zip. So I went to the GitHub page, I looked at the list of the files, and I looked through them and said, there's a Kotlin compiler. Okay. Kotlin for Linux, Kotlin for Mac OS. Oh, Kotlin for Windows, native Windows. I have Windows. That's the one. Yeah. No. So it's a little embarrassing, but I am willing to admit it. I clicked on the wrong file. I thought that was, I guess because I saw native Windows, my mind said, oh yeah, that's the one, just like on instinct. I was on autopilot. But yeah, I definitely downloaded the right one this time. Followed the instructions the same as last time. I put it in the right folder and updated my environment variables, and there it was. And I feel it's so funny because it was so simple. I gotta click on the right file. But that's not the whole point of this video. It wasn't for me to harp on that, but just a little reminder that even some of the more experienced folks like myself make mistakes like these. So it's good to follow the instructions very closely. Like if it says download a specific file, then download it. I mean, the other versions are probably there for other things, maybe for, I don't know, open source type things. If you want to contribute to the Kotlin project, maybe you download those and you do something else. But if you want to run the Kotlin compiler, then definitely just download the base Kotlin was a -1.4.2.zip or whatever version it is now when you're watching this video. I'm pretty sure the process will be exactly the same. I didn't even, to be honest, it took me a while to even try this solution again. I went through so many different other things. I experimented with a lot of different methods before I got back to the original, just downloading the Kotlin compiler. I followed some advice from a friend of mine and downloaded IntelliJ IDEA by JetBrains. They recommended that instead of trying to install a compiler on my own, that I should just get the IDE made by the folks who work with Kotlin. So that was what I did, and I downloaded it and installed it, and I ran into some issues where it couldn't create the Java virtual machine or something, so that didn't work. And that was just with a basic project. I installed it and I created a new project, and it didn't work out the box. So there's either something on my system that needed to be reconfigured, or something within the IDE itself. But I didn't want to waste too much time on it, so I went to Android Studio, which I'm more familiar with, and I created a new project, a new Kotlin project, not just a new project. Created a new Kotlin project, and I added the same, just to mess around, I added some print statements to like a blank basic project to see if I could get them to appear in the terminal or in the logcat or the console when it's somewhere. I just wanted to see how to print things to the console, and it turns out that these statements don't appear in the console window. You have to, they go to logcat, but the only way to see them is to import the log class and then use methods within that class in order to print the message out. The problem with that being that, well, if I wanted to, say, display text or have something that gathers input from the user within the console or within the terminal window, I have no way of doing that, because it's only going to show up if I use the log class to display it. Also, if I don't have a means of obtaining that user input, then I don't have a way to test this out. So, we covered repeat statements a few weeks ago. What if I wanted to ask the user to enter your name, enter a number, and I'll display it that many number of times? I don't have a way of testing that because I can't gather input from the user through the terminal using Android Studio. So IntelliJ IDEA was out. Android Studio was out. I didn't know what else to do. So I went on YouTube, and shout out to my man Prabish, who has a Kotlin learning, a whole series on learning Kotlin here on YouTube. You can check it out here. But I'll shout him out, because that was a big help. I went to the beginning of his series to see how to install Kotlin, and sure enough, that was when I saw, I just downloaded the wrong file. And his video came out a couple years ago, so thanks. It just goes to show, even if it's older content, it doesn't matter, as long as you're direct and concise in your instructions. I've been doing Android development for a while now, and I have seen my share. I've seen my share of bad tools. People have given me all types of advice on, use this. Learn SQL. Actually, no, learn Firebase. Actually, you know what? Maybe just work on the front end, but use Java. But don't use Java because Java is new. It's kind of old. Use Kotlin. Actually, don't even use Kotlin. Use React Native, because that's the best way to go. But then again, Flutter's pretty good. I've heard it all. I've heard almost everything. And I've run into my fair share of issues. If you've seen this channel from the beginning, you remember when I was using React Native, and that was not fun. I did not enjoy that at all. At first, it seemed very convenient, but I ran into so many issues with it, I threw it in the trash, because who wants to download a whole heap of dependencies just to get one single app working? No. When I installed that, or attempted to install that Kotlin compiler round 1, when I saw all those dependencies downloading and I was running into all these issues, messing with the environment variables and all those different things that I ran into, it just seemed like, here we go. Another product people are saying, or another tool that is being recommended, and it's a piece of crap. It doesn't even work right. Or I have to do all these jump through hoops just to even get the thing started. And it's happened so many times. But I went back and I tried it again, and it turns out, no, I was the one who made a mistake this time. This time that was on me, because I downloaded the wrong tool in the first place. I guess my experience made me a little skeptical when it didn't work right the first time. And there are some tools out there that, honestly, developers who make them, it's like, what were you guys thinking? There are even I'm not going to turn this whole section into me, ranting about React Native, but I remember it took me around a month before I finally grasped how to get my virtual device started up and how to use React Native to actually like build a layout and have it reload live and all these different things. And then I just got the React navigation working so that I could have multiple screens within an app. So you can click on a button and it'll take you to a new screen, and you do something in that screen and you can hit back and it'll take you to the original, and just basic functionality. And then there was an update like a week later that completely broke that feature. And so now I was just getting started and oh look, now this thing doesn't work. So then I ended up having to do a whole lot of research to try and figure out, well, how do I get this tool working? Because I want to build this app. And it was working fine 24 hours ago. Now a new update came out and it broke everything that I was using, and it just, this is kind of like the norm for some of these tools and these resources. Is not to say anything bad about React Native again, but I mean, come on. If you make an update and it breaks your app, it's not an update, pal. That's a downgrade. And to me, that's what a lot of these tools feel like sometimes. It's like, a lot of them are, no. Let me rephrase that. A lot of these tools are a downgrade because you go from install these things, get your hammer, your nails, and your screwdriver, and you're ready to go. Then it goes to, actually this screwdriver, you can remove the handle and you can actually tweak the torque that it has by doing this thing. And now that you can the handle's broken. Yeah, that model handle isn't that good, but we'll work on the new model handle that'll get your screwdriver up and running again. And this hammer can only hammer nails of this type for now, but we're trying to upgrade. It's like, what? This is dumb. I just want tools. If I'm gonna build something, I want the tools, and I want to just get up and go and just start going and working on it. That's it. And I was a little skeptical about Kotlin with that experience because it happened with React Native, and I honestly didn't expect much. I really didn't. I've been using the Kotlin playground just out of necessity because I want to learn the language, but I don't. As for setting up the tools, I was like, right now we're learning how to do it, but we'll see what happens when I actually sit down to build an app. Then we will really see what Kotlin is about. But thankfully, I was able to get everything up and running. Some tools work better than others. That's the biggest takeaway that I have from this experience. That's the best lesson I can impart onto you. A lot of people make videos about like which language is best and in 2020 or 2021, right? Honestly, as long as you can build something with it and you're comfortable working with it, then that's fine. There are plenty of organizations that use React Native and they're fine with it. And again, I haven't used it since it broke on me like a year and a half ago. It might have gotten better since then. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. I'll never know because I'm not using that shit. But it may have improved, and you might have a better time with it. You might have a better experience with it than I did. Maybe within a few weeks of that feature breaking update, they fixed it, and some new Android developer waltzed in and said, someone recommended React Native, let me try it. And they had a good time, but that's their experience. Based on my experience and I can tell you what works, you want to find a tool that's consistent and is going to allow you to build out what you want to build out. Simple as that. For me, I use Java and Android Studio, and it worked. Now I'm using Kotlin. I haven't started using it for apps yet. I'm just learning the language. But I can guarantee you that if you want to build an Android app, and if you want a tool that's going to work, it doesn't matter about the language and all that other stuff. If you want a working tool for building Android apps, Java, Android Studio, I can recommend that 110%. Why? Because I've built many little shitty apps that do little goofy things, or maybe, okay, let's not call them shitty, but I've built a bunch of little apps just for fun, and I have one on the App Store. So I can confirm, yeah, this thing actually works. I can't say that about React Native. I don't know if I'll be able to say that about Kotlin. We'll just have to see what happens. Thanks all of you for tuning in. Again, this is your host, Richard. If you want more content like this that helps out, again, I'm here to help out the new Android developers. So, hit like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you can see when I upload new stuff like this each week. And head on over to the Coding Fanatic website and join the mailing list so that you can get even more advice and have a better way to keep in touch with me and follow what I'm doing and things like that. And you'll be the first to know when new videos or new content comes out each week before anybody else. So definitely the place to be. If you have any, if you didn't like this video, well, let me know below. If you did like it, let me know below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, and it will all be taken into consideration or not. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in. I will see you all on the next one. Peace.